Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Let's get right in the information today. Again, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. Take everything I share here with a grain of salt. We can have different opinions, but let's be mature about it. So right here, Chris Larson, executive chairman of Ripple, discussing in this latest fireside chat, a good 20-30 minutes. I believe Ripple did release this on their YouTube channel. I watched it, highly recommend. Again, this is the same narrative that we've been preparing ourselves for. It's been around for quite some time, but we're going to hear more of a push about this thanks to the BRICS nations. Again, in my previous video we shared, and I believe it was Matthew L.I.N.Y. sharing with Nigeria and even China and all these groups straying away from the US dollar reserve status, straying away from SWIFT. Now, SWIFT is not based out of the US, but the United States pulls these strings. So again, we've heard this vernacular with the World Economic Forum talking about a level playing field. Now, why am I talking about this? This is supposed to be an XRP channel. Well, what I'm saying is, again, this is going to basically set the stage for the future of global finance. And I believe that crypto assets, digital assets, everything will be tokenized. I believe that they are going to be the new asset class. I just don't believe that this is going to be one of the biggest, most highly invested upon asset bubbles in the world. I think that this is going to be based off of utility. I think DLT, distributed ledger technology specifically, where everyone can hold a record, there's, immutability in transactions, accountability, actual mutual trust for the first time in human, commerce. And again, you cannot have commerce without mutual trust. Today we have mutual mistrust. It's not just me buying, different crypto assets and then wanting them to appreciate. When you look at the cold hard math and the actual benefits and do a, cost benefit analysis, lay out the pros and cons, you see what we have, and we're going to laugh at it. 10 years from now, we're going to look back at the technology and ask, how did we go on doing 40 to 50 years using these old systems where some people are actually manually writing and updating ledgers with their hand? Ridiculous. All right. We can stream video from space. You get it. So again, now remember, Chris Larson's going to be talking about this, saying China's invested $1.4 trillion in technology. They're way ahead of the US. The same narrative, because he needs to push the United States to act. Now, he has to be obviously polite, respectful. He's a wildly successful businessman, and I think he's the perfect person to lead Ripple throughout these times. But again, just kind of question it, because we understand in 2017, even Matthew L.I.N.Y. sharing, of course, Ripple met with the central bank, the People's Bank of China, PBOC, back then when they were developing that digital currency that was designed to scale to the number of transactions made every day across the country. This was June 2017. Now, I'm not saying XRP was involved. What I'm saying is it's highly probable that Ripple kind of held some type of consultant-like role with this, just like they have with the International Monetary Fund, the Bank of International Settlements, and many other groups. All right, so really quick before we play that video, and again, we're just going to play like a 1-minute clip, so feel free to fast forward if you've already seen it. Ripple, again, their actual tweet, August 2017, welcomed China's central bank, again, the People's Bank of China, industry and academic leaders to Ripple headquarters to discuss the latest blockchain trends. And click this link. It'll take you right here as well. So again, you guys can find all of this online yourself. All right, and then here's the official tweet. And again, even I Am Legion just kind of pointing out with SIA, R3 partnering. Again, guys, SIA, Overledger, Quant, again, the crypto asset, QNT. We've been talking about that. I mean, the first time I saw it was like, what, August or November 2018. We've been talking about it. It seems like a very, very solid project. So again, right here, we're going to play this clip and just consider all of this, because they need this type of push. Now, obviously, if China gets too far ahead, hypothetically, in terms of blockchain tech, because we know in terms of moving money around in the US, we're ahead of them. But in terms of blockchain progress, yeah, I might actually agree that China is significantly ahead. All right, listen up.
China now has moved very strongly into building out a central bank digital currency, a renminbi, as well as controlling mining.
And remember that renminbi is backed by gold, and they're mentioning, again, oil involved in it as well with the contracts. So just like we said, gold, oil, and this energy sector backing this new type of currency as they're straying away from the US dollar.
Basically having almost all their payments digital domestically. Frankly, and we can talk about it as well, we're way behind China when it comes to blockchain technology. So, the companies need to just stay at it, blocking and tackling, working within the system, but that vision of free money moving around essentially for free. That's what the internet basically is for information. But the U.S. government also needs to get a lot more involved in blockchain. We're slow to the game. China is so far ahead of us. They just announced they're going to spend $1.4 trillion on technology, payments and blockchain clearly part of that strategy. You could even argue the move to control Hong Kong more closely gives them an advantage in controlling two of the global financial centers.
Interesting. So a big push, and keep in mind, Ripple is partners with Hong Kong-based Lian Lian. Lian Lian also did a joint venture, I believe a 50-50 JV with Ripple's partner, Amex, American Express as well. These pawns are moving around.
The U.S. only has one, right? So the U.S. has got to, it's got to change its view that goes from 17 and 18, which was all about these horrible ICOs, initial coin offerings, which were terrible, had to be shut down. They effectively shut them down. We won that war. Now we got to switch to, okay, how do we compete with China? How do we keep up? And, you know, till now, frankly, US regulators have actually helped China by officially giving clarity to the two protocols effectively controlled by Chinese miners, Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's a mistake.
And again, that's my belief, guys. I'm bullish on crypto assets. I am bullish on any asset that proves a real problem for real customers in due time. Some might be a little early, but they might be killer successful projects, but it's going to take time. Others, it's prime time. You cannot, successfully launch Twitter 10 years too early. It has to be the right timing. There's a bunch of variables that you have to consider, and that's why XRP has been taking some time. They're not only going after the right customers, and yes, the use case is there, but they then have to build that infrastructure and go and work with the regulators to get all of that in place for them to succeed as well. So they're actually laying the rails, not just the payment rails, but even the rails for, every single vertical in terms of law and compliance, you name it. So it's very, very complex, but I think they are doing a fantastic job. Obviously, it is simply a matter of time, guys. We have to have the right expectations. My price expectations have not changed one bit. In terms of timing, still the same. I mean, again, 18 cents, guys. My belief, keep the price as low as possible for as long as possible. You know the deal. Again, not financial advice. If you guys believe it's going to be 20 cents forever, so be it. But that is not my belief based off of real adoption, real roadmaps, and what I'm seeing folks at SPI and many people doing. The builders are building. So
we've got to also give clarity at least, and maybe even support, if this really becomes a tech cold war like it's looking like it will be, to technologies that are more favorable to U.S. and its allies' stewardship of the next-gen global financial system.
And again, we don't want to have two global financial systems where they're competing, where the United States in a group is competing with, the BRICS nations. That's still fragmentation. Again, we need that level playing field. And again, the World Economic Forum has called this the Great Reset. We'll see what that encompasses and what that kind of, relates to. I'm not saying XRP has anything to do with it. I'm just saying that we are coming towards a very pivotal point in society. All right, so we know they met with People's Bank of China, along with many central banks, no surprise. Now right here, the daily hodl. So SPI Ripple Asia, again, in that fantastic interview with the CEO of BRD Wallet with Thinking Crypto that Tony did, Adam Trademan, fantastic. So this is going to reference some of that interview as well, just to briefly go through it. So again, a JV from Financial SPI Holdings and Ripple, and again, SPI is one of the largest shareholders of Ripple, and R3 is gearing up to launch the XRP remittance platform known as ODL, and I almost say ODL every single time. I don't know why. I think I'm used to like HODL and HODL. But again, in Asia this year. Now, I know 2018, we're all expecting SPI to launch, utilize XRP in the payment flows, and finally just skyrocket the price because of not only high volume, but higher transactions moving through the ledger. We all got excited, and guess what? Nothing happened. So we will simply see, but I am actually pretty confident that this year will finally be the year that they will launch. All right. So again, in the recent interview with Thinking Crypto, SPI Ripple Asia Chief Executive Adam Trademan says the company is currently testing the product as it works to roll out the platform in a matter of months. So it sounds like they'll be able to get it within the next, 6 months, 5 months of the year. So ODL is a solution that changes the fundamental layers of the banking system and how money is moved, and that technology is super exciting. It's just rolling out now. For SPI Ripple Asia, we have limited trial and pilot projects going on right now with various companies in our territories, and they're going great. I expect that probably later this year and into next year, things are going to move into widespread production. That's a significant term. And I expect remittance companies that were restricted in growth because of pre-funding requirements, again, that issue, guys, and that's exactly what XRP will do, free this capital to become working capital. It's not going to be tied up any longer, to have more flexibility. On-demand liquidity is designed, again, this specifically uses XRP, guys, formerly XRapid, and I'm just repeating for newcomers. and financial institutions a regulated method. Again, all of their customers are directly regulated, making Ripple regulated as well to send fiat currency across borders in an instant using XRP as that bridge. All right, gaining traction in the region. There are customers of Ripple Asia that are starting to leverage ODL for Ripple. All right, pay close attention to this. Big group, really good interview. Highly recommend you guys check this out as well. All right, so again, Reborn sharing this document we've seen. Again, the original, I believe, is in Japanese. Crypto Eddie, I'm sure she'd kind of go over this in better depth and detail. I believe I've seen her, and I know she does a fantastic job covering ODL specifically. So again, please check out her channel if you have not already. So right here, just talking about R3, guys. I know some people don't think R3 will play any role at all. It's hopium. I get it. Again, I do. And that's just my belief, based off of the things I've seen, based off of the people I talk to. And we'll just leave it at that. So, business area separation of Ripple and R3. Again, Yoshitaka Katao, obviously his dream scenario, if it were to happen and does happen, is Ripple just continues to handle ODL, international remittance, low value transfers, where R3, again, trade finance, we're talking trillions of dollars for the big boys, these industry titans. Again, R3, it's all about the Lehman Brothers, the Wall Street, those guys are getting the slice of the pie again. That's my belief. So R3, we know, syndicated lending, again, Ripple's doing lending as well, more interest, again, interest payments increase demand for XRP as well. You can talk about derivatives, of course, 700 trillion right there, cash management, repo trading, crowdfunding, cross-border trade, supply chain, real estate. Again, commercialized real estate is easier to tokenize. We've gone over this as well. Residential stuff is a little more complex. That will be years down the road. Healthcare, all right? Never ending. So again, this is my belief. And again, as we can see, R3, Ripple Solution, become a global standard for financial operations such as international money transfers and trade finance. So again, this keynote, as we can see, Cordicon, March 2018, declared full-scale efforts to resolving R3 and Ripple legal dispute. That promise of R3 getting 5 billion XRP, 5% of the entire supply at a discount. I guess the terms of the agreement were kind of, they weren't really agreed upon because R3 didn't take advantage of the timeline to get it. So then when they finally wanted it, they wanted the same discount. Ripple denied them. There was this huge battle. I don't really have any comments on it because I don't know enough information. And again, leveraging XRP use Corda, the settlement was announced between R3 and Ripple. And then December 5th, 2018, R3 releases XRP Settler. And it's interesting because they call it Corda Settler. So I just thought it was interesting how the document, calls it XRP Settler, unless this is just, XRP within the Corda Settler settling. I just thought it was interesting, again, making full use of the XRP ledger. All we need is it to go over XRP one time, just like on-demand liquidity, guys. This is higher transactions. That's exactly what we're waiting for. And again, there's multiple groups, but my interest right now is specifically R3. And I do think that thanks to the backing of Accenture helping them with Swift and integrating their GPI, maybe it is hopium, but I believe that there is something much bigger going on here, guys. All right, so, all right, just wanted to read something. All right, and then again, just another example, and again, this is shared by Reborn13, and actually, I'm just going to scroll up real quick and just show you a few slides that he said, and he's just saying, don't sleep on SBI, Society 5.0, talking about fintech, financial technology, so, settlements, XRP, remittance, lending, investing, KYC, AML, again, all of this information, we can see, like all of this over here, MaaS, mobility as a service, autonomous vehicle, think of Mobi. Every time I'm seeing, IoT, anything like that, it does remind me of that. Internet of Things right here, cloud computing, again, machine learning, AI, you name it. All right. So again, they're not just blockchain. They're working on they're a huge group, obviously, SPI group. So very, very large. All right. Right here, Adam Trademan again, CEO of BRD Wallet. I've heard it pronounced, Bread Wallet as well, but we'll just call it BRD. I've got daily reports on all the transfers that are being sent using Ripple Tech from Japan, South Korea, and other places overseas. There's a lot going on. That's a real use case that is way beyond just speculation. To everyone that just thinks that XRP is, 100% speculative, false. It is one of the few crypto assets actually in live institutional flows today. And yes, it is still over $1 billion a year. And that is not much in the scheme of things at all because we are early. Am I confident in the appreciation of this asset class? Speaking about all crypto assets, 100%, like zero doubt. But again, investing is not for everybody. I think a lot of people are frustrated and this just might not be for you. Those are the people that dislike this video. So right here, XRP_Stewart, sharing this again. For remittances from Japan to banks in Southeast Asia in which the, and I think it might be translated, SBI Group invests, developing a system using RippleNet, formerly XCurrent, which would be updated to ODL, formerly XRapid, in collaboration with SBI Remit, SBI Ripple Asia, and several banks in Southeast Asia. SBI Ripple Asia to cover nearly 50% of the overall Ripple network once the connection is activated. SBI Remit's transaction volume is now #1 on RippleNet. Pay attention right here. Again, sharing this back in a few days ago, and this is old, from 2017. Ripple says, in less than 1 year, SBI Ripple Asia, again, Adam Trademan in that group, has brought together 61 banks representing 80% of Japan's total assets. So again, this is what I mean. For example, SBI is one of, the biggest shareholders in Ripple. When I say that, essentially Ripple has SBI on lock, I mean in terms of the potential, in terms of in the pipeline, in terms of, the partnerships, this is what I'm talking about, all right? Is there a bunch of work still left to be done? Potentially, absolutely. But again, this is kind of how I look at India as well, with Ashish Birla's comments back in the day talking about 50% in the pipeline, 80% of the entire country in the pipeline. We're going to take that information to Wells Fargo and say there's not a better, more cost-effective way to send payments into India than RippleNet. Things of this nature, guys. All right. Next, XRP Crypto Wolf sharing Ripple and SBI Holdings investing in Securitize. Remember that. Also, Coinbase invests in Securitize. It just became the first international firm to join the Japan Security Token Offering Association. SBI Holding CEO Yoshitaka Gatao said they look forward to working alongside, again, Carlos Domingo, CEO of Securitize. So just to kind of go through this article really quick and why they were able to do so, we can actually see that right here, Securitize co-founder told CoinDesk that a leading Japanese financial services company, SBI Holdings, of course, that we know, founded JSTOA. This is the Japan Security Token Offering Association. And again, they're a Securitize shareholder. All right. US-based Securitize could not join the association until now because JSTOA only accepted Japanese regulated entities into its rank. Securitize Japan is regulated in the country. Right. Another connection, and is, again, you guys can see examples of Securitize at securitize.io. They can tokenize assets on the actual Tezos blockchain. Again, ticker for that is XTZ. All kinds of examples. So again, there's going to be various niches with these types of applications, okay? STOs, you can talk about Tezos, you can talk about ADA, you can talk about Polymath, you name it, all right? All right. So again, you guys can check this out. Really what I do is just look at the investors, who's backing them. And obviously, I think you'll be very, very surprised and kind of see. You can kind of just look at the leadership, see who's who. You can go play around on LinkedIn and just look at the investors, guys. I believe they're, let me see. Algo, SBI, Tezos, as you can see, Spring, again, thanks to Ripple. And again, guys, even with PayID, which we're going to talk about MUFG, which is one of the biggest banks in Japan, they're also RippleNet, Blockchain Capital, also involved with, and again, Coinbase, as I've said. You guys can kind of, do your own math there. But again, Spring is largely behind with Strata Labs and Logos. They're all behind this PayID initiative. Again, Ripple's initiative. And hence, obviously, why we talked about them being trademarked as well. This should be no surprise. All right. Next, again, XRP Crypto Wolf sharing, again, R3 CTO, and we can see this gentleman talking about 5 interoperability ingredients, Richard Gendel Brown. So CTO of R3, we know many people at R3 cannot discuss Ripple thanks to these NDAs. I'm not sure if it's just based off the lawsuit, but they never mention XRP. If you pay attention, you'll see even R3 high-tier individuals, even David Rudder, on the news, and they'll talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they'll go to like Litecoin every single time, the one that shall not be named. All right, so 5 ingredients of interoperability. A lot of these ingredients actually do remind me of Quant as well, QUANT. So integrate with existing business systems, all right? Initiate payments on existing rails or blockchain rails, again, helping integrate and initiate and kind of, bridge the traditional and this new asset class. Interchain applications, smart contracts can be deployed, executed across protocols. Intra-chain applications that benefit from value add of some or same underlying protocol. And then interchange applications to switch platforms. Very interesting, guys, and obviously sounds incredibly complex. All right, right here, just an example, guys, of XRP_Stewart. Definite follow. Please follow. I mean, if you're not following, I'm assuming you are. If you watch any Ripple videos, you should be on Twitter for this XRP community. Get your own up-to-date research. But again, XRP Store's been here for quite some time, and this is just an example. September 23rd, 2019, he shared some research again about NBF, excuse me, National Bank of Fujairah in the Middle East, utilizing the benefits of RippleNet. These researchers in this community do a fantastic job of showing proof. Again, you can see Stored XRP was the one who found this information. Ripple-enabled bank known as National Bank of Fujairah, corporate bank founded in 1982, headquartered in Dubai and UAE. You can see their investors and shareholders in this banking banking institutions, excuse me. And then talking, here's proof that the bank is now actually utilizing RippleNet as of September 2019. Says National Bank of Fujairah is utilizing the benefits of RippleNet to provide frictionless experience for sending and receiving money globally, and is working with other banks to implement Ripple in 2019. And then later on, obviously, months later, National Bank of Fujairah partners with Ripple, and they announce it in March 2020. Everyone, and this is how it will be, even a few years from now or end of year, people will call you lucky. They'll say, you know, you just gambled on some internet money. There was no research or hard work you did. Guys, this is the same thing I've seen year in year again. Like, people that have done great research, even like Darren Moore in this community, connecting dots from like 2 years ago, and then things are finally happening today. There's people that know so much. And again, I'm not saying every little dot connection means something. Of course, I know I show a bunch in this channel, but I'm saying if you understand that even 1% of some of these things come into play, we're going to be fine. All right, and again, Matthew L.I.N.Y. PayID will help lead the way for XRP and crypto adoption. Specifically, PayID, obviously the biggest push is XRP, focusing on payments, guys. And again, PayID goes right into the interledger stack, working in tandem with all of these types of interoperability protocols to allow any asset to win on a level playing field. Who are they going to pick for the best level of security, scalability, transparency, you name it? And of course, the XRP is the native asset, but the XRP ledger is the one with all of the amazing features. Now we have check features and amendments that can kind of go through. We can change the reserve wallet's amount as the price appreciates. You can talk about the actual DEX, the decentralized exchange. To me, there's just very few other assets that compete in terms of solving the payments issue. Now, are there some that might be better for supply chain or, you know, building dApps off of? Potentially. I'm just saying for XRP, in terms of payments, it's the most news, it's the most obvious in terms of connections with top central banks. If you had to turn your back or just not have even a little bit of it in your portfolio, I don't know what to tell you. Because even if you hated Banker's Coin, I'm just in the space to make a little money. People call it a Banker's Coin, a scam coin. Well, I think it's the black sheep of crypto, and that's one of the reasons why I invest in it. So again, BitPay, Crypto Fiat, MasterCard. We'll talk about MasterCard and Visa in another video. Again, as you can see here, BitPay.com, talking about this, do more. You can have all these cards. I know Uphold has one. WireX, many groups are going to be having these. I know Binance, etc. This is going to be very common in the future, and we will see what else comes with it. All right, and just to finish things off, again, thank you, XRP Robic. I guess it's P-R-O-B-I-C. Sorry if I'm butchering that. But again, just showing Ripple owns the trademark for PayID. He also mentioned that Status, again, found this as well. Very cool. So appreciate you guys showing the applicant, Ripple Labs Inc. So again, showing you more and more proof each and every day, guys, connecting some dots. Specifically, I'm just kind of watching, you know, SPI, seeing, and I hope that they have successful launches, actually launch ODL by end of year, which would be great for once. I'm sick of seeing 18 cents, 12 cents, 20 cents. I would like to get over $1 sometime in the future. But again, with utility, this will slowly raise that ground floor. Right now, we do not know how high and low speculation could take us. Simply a matter of time. Again, there's other assets you guys can diversify, you can trade, improve your positions, do whatever you want. I just have my long-term bags and I'm never touching them. The rest of it is where I'm working on accumulating. Of course, I hedge with precious metal. Right now, I'm sitting on the sidelines for, you know, stocks in this equities market. I've heard a lot of FUD and conspiracies that there's going to be some type of big dead cat bounce, you know, in the coming, you know, weeks. We will simply see. All right, guys, again, I appreciate it. Be sure to check all the video links in the description. Shout out to my top channel members. Appreciate you guys. Be More 1113, Lunar Phoenix, Jamie XRP, Crypto Beginner, Ken Melendez, XRP Holder 4, XRP Life, and all others. Appreciate all of you that hit the like button and share this, and I will see you in the next one. I need a drink of water.